You know what you want to do for months, maybe years, but you haven't started.
The fear of starting is real, and it has nothing to do with laziness. Today, we talk about why.
Perfect is the enemy of done. Today, we find out what that really means and what to do about it.
If there's something you've been putting off, this episode might be the thing that finally moves you.
I'm Camila, and this is the Fluentjoy podcast. Subscribe. We're here every week.
I'm John.
And I'm Camila. Welcome back to the Fluentjoy podcast.
Really glad you're here today.
Subscribe if you haven't already. We show up every single week.
Okay, I want to open with something.
Go ahead.
This episode almost didn't happen.
What do you mean?
I kept putting off writing it.
An episode about the fear of starting, that you were afraid to start.
The irony was not lost on me.
I love that. What stopped you?
The same things that stop most people. I didn't know where to begin.
Classic.
I wanted it to be perfect before I started.
Also classic.
And I kept waiting for the right moment.
Which never came.
Which never came. Until the deadline forced me.
And then it came together.
In about 2 hours. Because it always does once you actually start.
That's the whole lesson right there.
It really is, but let's unpack it properly.
Let's go.
The fear of starting has a name in psychology.
Several names, actually.
Procrastination is the most common one.
Procrastination. Delaying or postponing something you need or want to do.
But procrastination is usually described as laziness.
And that's almost always wrong.
Most people who procrastinate are not lazy.
They are afraid.
Afraid of what exactly?
Several things, and they're worth naming.
The first is the fear of failure.
If I never start, I can never fail.
The thing stays perfect in my head, unbegun and therefore unjudged.
Unjudged. Never evaluated. Never found lacking.
As long as it's only an idea, it can be as good as you imagine.
But the moment you start, reality enters.
And reality is messier than the idea.
So not starting feels like protecting the dream.
But it's actually just postponing it indefinitely.
Indefinitely. Without a definite end. Possibly forever.
The second fear is the fear of judgment.
What will people think?
What if I try and people laugh?
What if I put this out into the world and it's not good enough?
What if I speak English and people notice my accent, my mistakes?
That last one is very real for language learners.
The stage fright of speaking a new language.
Stage fright. The nervousness you feel before performing or being seen.
And speaking a language is a performance of sorts.
You're putting yourself out there, in real time, with no delete button.
The third fear is the fear of imperfection.
Also known as perfectionism.
Perfectionism. The belief that anything less than perfect is unacceptable.
And perfectionism sounds like a strength, like high standards.
But in practice, it's often a trap.
Because perfect is not a real destination.
It's a moving target that stays just out of reach.
You get close, and it moves further away.
And so nothing ever gets done, because nothing ever feels ready.
There's a phrase in English, perfect is the enemy of good.
The enemy, something that works against you, that prevents good things.
Perfect is the enemy of good means that chasing perfection often prevents you from producing anything good at all.
A good thing finished is worth more than a perfect thing never started.
Every single time.
Now, let's talk about what's actually happening in your brain when you avoid starting.
Because this is fascinating.
When you think about starting something that feels risky or uncertain, your brain registers it as a threat.
A threat. Something potentially dangerous.
And your brain's job is to protect you from threats.
So it produces resistance.
Resistance, a force that pushes back against movement.
Suddenly you feel the urge to check your phone.
Or clean the kitchen. Or do literally anything else.
The kitchen has never been cleaner than the night before a deadline.
Absolutely true.
This is called avoidance behavior.
Avoidance behavior, doing other things to escape the discomfort of starting.
And the more you avoid, the more the thing grows in your mind.
It gets bigger, more intimidating, more impossible.
Because you've been avoiding it for so long that it must be very hard.
Until starting feels like climbing a mountain
When actually, it might be a small hill.
that you just haven't walked up yet.
The avoidance created the mountain, not the task itself.
Which means the solution is not to get better at the task.
The solution is to start, imperfectly, right now.
And watch the mountain shrink.
Okay, let's talk about what actually helps.
Because understanding it is one thing.
Doing something about it is another.
The first thing that helps is what I call the 2-minute rule.
Tell me.
The 2-minute rule says, if something takes less than 2 minutes, do it now.
But there's a version for starting, too.
Just do 2 minutes of the thing you're avoiding.
Just 2. No commitment to finish. No pressure to be good.
Just open the document. Just pick up the pen. Just say the first sentence out loud.
And almost always, 2 minutes turns into 20.
Because starting is the hard part, not the doing.
Once you're in motion, staying in motion is much easier.
There's a concept in physics called inertia.
Inertia. A tendency to stay in the same state unless something acts on it.
A still object tends to stay still.
A moving object tends to keep moving.
Your creative and productive self works the same way.
The hardest push is the first one, to get from still to moving.
After that, it gets easier. The second thing that helps is lowering the stakes.
Lowering the stakes, making the thing feel less important, less final.
A lot of people can't start because they've made the thing too big in their minds.
This essay will define my intelligence.
This English conversation will prove whether I'm really learning or not.
This business idea will show whether I'm a real entrepreneur.
And under that weight, nothing moves.
So lower the stakes intentionally.
This is just a draft. Nobody has to see it.
This is just a practice conversation. It doesn't count.
This is just an experiment. I'm allowed to get it wrong.
Experiment. A test you do to find out what happens, without needing a specific result.
When you frame things as experiments, failure becomes information.
Not evidence that you're not good enough.
Just data. What worked, what didn't, what to try next.
Scientists don't feel ashamed when an experiment produces an unexpected result.
They just adjust and try again.
Be a scientist with your own life. The third thing that helps is getting specific about the first step.
Not the goal, not the outcome, just the first step.
Most people have goals. Few people have first steps.
I want to write a book. Great. What is the first step?
Not finish the book. Not even write a chapter.
Open a new document and write one paragraph about what the book is about.
That's the first step. Specific. Small. Doable today.
I want to speak English confidently. Great. What is the first step?
Not be fluent. Not speak perfectly.
Record yourself speaking for 2 minutes about your day, right now.
That's the first step.
When the first step is concrete, the starting becomes possible.
Concrete. Specific and real. Not vague or general.
Vague goals produce vague action, which is usually no action,
Specific first steps produce specific movement.
which produces momentum.
Momentum. The force that keeps something moving once it is started.
Let's talk about something specific for English learners.
Because the fear of starting in English is its own version of this.
You want to speak. You know you need to speak.
But every time the moment comes, something holds you back.
And it's not that you don't know enough English.
Most learners know more than they think they do.
It's that speaking feels permanent, final, exposed.
Like once you open your mouth, people will know exactly where you are.
And the gap between where you are and where you want to be will be visible.
Visible. Able to be seen. No longer hidden.
But here's what that thinking gets wrong.
Every single person who speaks English confidently now was once exactly where you are.
Uncertain, hesitant, afraid of making mistakes.
The only difference between them and you is that they started.
They spoke imperfectly and kept speaking.
Until the imperfection became fluency.
That path only has one entrance.
And the entrance is starting.
Imperfectly, nervously, today. Vocabulary time.
Great words today. Let's lock them in.
Procrastination, delaying something you need or want to do.
Procrastination is not laziness. It's usually fear in disguise.
Perfectionism, the belief that anything less than perfect is not acceptable.
Perfectionism sounds like a strength, but it often stops you from finishing anything.
Resistance, a force that pushes back against movement or action.
When I sit down to write, I feel resistance at first, but I push through it.
Avoidance behavior, doing other things to escape discomfort.
Cleaning the house instead of studying is classic avoidance behavior.
Inertia, the tendency to stay in the same state unless acted upon.
Use inertia in your favor. Once you start, keep going.
Experiment, a test done to find out what happens.
Treat your first attempts as experiments. Learn from the results. Adjust.
Concrete, specific and real, not vague.
Make your first step concrete. Not, I'll practice English, but I'll speak for 2 minutes now.
Momentum, the force that keeps something moving.
Once you start and keep going, momentum builds, and it carries you forward.
Hesitant, slow to act because of uncertainty or fear.
I was hesitant to speak at first, but the more I did it, the easier it became.
Indefinitely, without a clear endpoint, possibly forever.
If you wait until you're ready, you might wait indefinitely. Start before you feel ready. Here's your challenge for today.
Name one thing you've been putting off.
Something you want to do but haven't started.
Write down the very first small step.
Not the goal, not the outcome, just the first tiny action.
And then do it today, even if only for 2 minutes.
And in the comments, tell us this.
Something I've been afraid to start is blank.
And my first step is blank.
We read every single comment, and we are genuinely rooting for you. Let's bring this home.
The fear of starting is real. It has nothing to do with laziness.
It has everything to do with fear of failure, fear of judgment, and fear of imperfection.
And those fears are human. They make sense.
But they are not facts. They are feelings.
And feelings can be moved through.
Not by waiting until you feel ready,
Because that feeling rarely comes on its own.
but by starting anyway, imperfectly, with 2 minutes, with one small step.
And watching the mountain you built in your mind become the small hill it always was.
You are more ready than you think.
You have more than you need to begin.
So, begin. I want to go back to my story for a moment.
About procrastinating this episode?
Yes, because there's more to it.
Tell me.
When I finally sat down and started writing, something interesting happened.
What?
The first thing I wrote was terrible.
Obviously.
The first draft was genuinely bad, disorganized, unclear,
But you kept going.
because I reminded myself of something.
It.
The first short,
It's just you thinking out loud on the page.
getting the rough material out so you can work with it.
You can't edit a blank page.
You can't edit a blank page. That's one of the most important sentences about creativity.
A bad first draft is infinitely more valuable than no draft.
Because you can fix bad. You can't fix nothing.
And that applies to everything, not just writing.
A bad first attempt at a conversation in English,
A rough first version of a business plan.
An imperfect first workout after months of not exercising.
All of these are better than the perfect version that never existed.
Because they are real. They happened.
And real imperfect things can be improved.
Imaginary perfect things cannot.
So whatever you've been putting off,
Make it real. Make it bad if you have to.
just make it exist.
And then make it better.
That's the whole process. For everything worth doing.
See you next week.
Keep going.